Good afternoon. This is Jay Regennitter. I'm the chair of the Wesley Foundation Board of Directors, and it's my privilege to bring you another episode of Where Are They Now? And today we're talking with alumnus Jeremiah Thompson. So, Jeremiah, would you share with us where you're living and what you're doing now?
I live in Malta, Illinois. I am the pastor of the Malta United Methodist Church and the Grace United Methodist Church of Maple Park, Illinois. I don't anticipate most of you know where Malta is. I live right by DeKalb, Illinois. I am married. My spouse, Dr. Laura Heidemann, is a professor of sociology at Northern Illinois University, and I have two children. Abiella is 13 and Owen is 9. And I've been living here in Malta and pastoring here for about 6 years, and life is very good.
Great. So, Jeremiah, when were you a student at the University of Illinois and at the Wesley Foundation?
I started at the foundation in the fall of 97, and then graduated from University of Illinois 2000, in May of 2001. So I was there from 97 to 2001. And then earlier in my career, when I was still a pastor in the Illinois Great Rivers Annual Conference of the United Methodist Church at Mahomet, I got the really cool opportunity to help with a few things at the foundation because I was a nearby pastor. I particularly enjoyed Question Night too. Question Night, it was really fun to be a panelist for that.
So, how were you involved with Wesley when you were a student?
How wasn't I involved with Wesley? I mean, I was regularly. I was a member of the Wesley Church in addition to being active in the foundation. Served on the staff parish committee at the church. In terms of the foundation, I was involved with Bible studies. I was involved with midweek worship. I think the biggest thing that had the biggest impact on my life, well, maybe not the solo biggest impact, but one of the things that had the biggest impact on me was participating in the mission trips. And those opportunities were very, very formative. And I think in many ways they guided me on the path, the mildly torturous path that eventually led me to ordained ministry. And I've now been, serving as a United Methodist pastor under appointment since 2007, and have been ordained since 2010. And I don't know if that would have happened without a lot of things that happened at Wesley, but I think the mission trips in particular.
Could you tell us a story about your time at Wesley, maybe a favorite memory that you have, something funny that occurred, or something that was really meaningful to you?
Oh, I mean, there were plenty of funny things. There were plenty of meaningful things. I mean, I think, I'm going to go back to the mission trips. I think the trip that we took to Costa Rica in the spring of 1999 was an extremely formative experience for me. And, I remember being down in the hole helping us. We were digging a septic tank by hand for a church, and it was great to work together. It was great to experience people. It was the first time I'd been in a non-English speaking country. So that was a really awesome experience, and to be able to do it with my friends and my peers, and to really have a great experience like that. I also appreciated that Wesley was a place I could explore questions of faith. My father was a United Methodist pastor. He retired the year before I started being active at Wesley. And so, I mean, it's not like faith was a new thing, but it was the first time in my life that I was going to a church that I, in a sense, had chosen myself. And I had a lot of questions, particularly about some of the suffering in the world. And it was helpful, multiple staff people at Wesley kind of talking me through that, and also helping me realize that some of my questions, even some of my doubts, didn't make me unique. And it was a really a place where you could explore where you were at, and you didn't have to feel like there was a party line that you had to toe to to be accepted. And I really, really appreciated that. And I grew a lot at Wesley. And like I say, Wesley, and I should also say it was a real growing experience for me with getting to know, well, particularly a lot more people from the LGBTQIA community. and frankly, me growing a lot in what good ministry looks like with people of all sexual orientations and gender identities, and that's ended up being a big part of the ministry that I've done as an ordained person. So I feel like Wesley, in so many ways, was preparing me along with some other experiences I've had along the way for the ministry that I've been able to do, and I'm grateful for that.
Well, you've touched on many of the questions that I had for you already in just a really organic way, Jeremiah. So that's really awesome. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us about your vocation or family, things that you think alumni would be interested in knowing about where you are right now?
I mean, I want to say this. It's actually come up with somebody when I was still serving in the Great Rivers Conference, and then, if anyone who's an alumni who has kids or people connected with Northern Illinois University, please make contact. I do a lot of work with other clergy in DeKalb, and I'd love to help people who may have a connection to our area find a church home, or also find a lot of faith-based organizations that are for progressive faith-based organizations that are trying to do social change. I treasure the time I spent at Wesley. I haven't been back to campus in many years. Once I became a dad, I joke with people, I'm kind of in total dad mode in my life right now, and that maybe is where a lot of alumni are. And so much of my schedule is around what the kids are doing and things like that. But I'm very grateful for the time I spent at Wesley and for all the ways that I grew as a person and grew in my faith. And even some of the times at Wesley that were not always as easy, I realize now some of the ways that those experiences were formative. There was never anyone unkind to me or something, but there wasn't always an easy time to be at Wesley. We unfortunately had to have a lot of staff changes and things while I was there. So I'm grateful for all the ways that I learned at Wesley and all the ways that God worked there. And I pray for the foundation to continue to reach out and to positively affect students' lives. And I hope I'll be interested to see some of the other people that you're going to interview, Jay. I know you already said at least one person you're interviewing is someone you and I both had as a faculty person when we were in seminary. So I'll be very interested to hear about some of these other videos and hear some of the other people that you talk to.
I wanted to thank you for taking the time, Jeremiah, to do this interview with me today. And if you are watching and you're interested in sharing about where you are now as an alumnus or as a former staff member of Wesley, if you want to reach out to us, you're more than welcome to do that. You can reach out to our Director of Advancement and Engagement, or you can reach out to our Senior Pastor Director, David Fuqua, and we'll make sure that we get your story told.